In this segment, we'll be talking about programming the SVC battery-operated controllers. You might have an SVC 100, a 200, or a 400, which means 1, 2, or 4 stations, but we'll be concentrating basically on programming the SVC. On the display, we've got 5 buttons here in the front face. A right arrow, left arrow, that'll move the cursor around the screen. Minus and plus will change whatever is flashing, and the center button will change the page or the chapter over to the next function. Do note that these controllers are always used with the DC latching solenoids on the valves. So we'll start by hitting the center button, and that brings up the display. This one is currently showing 11:45 a.m. on day 6. The battery life indicator is in the middle of the screen as well. It shows a full battery life. And we're going to start the programming process by hitting the center button. That will make the hour flash, and at any time you can use the right arrow to move the flashing function around the screen. Now we're over at AM. We hit the right arrow again, and the day of the week across the bottom is flashing along with the calendar icon. We can use the right arrow to go in a clockwise circle at any time, or we can use the left arrow to go in a counterclockwise circle. We're just moving the cursor around the screen. So we'll go back to the hour, and right now it's 9 o'clock a.m. So we'll hit the minus button to back the hour down to 9. Use the right arrow to move the cursor over, and then we're going to use the plus button to go up to the top of the hour, so 9:00. And you can also hold down the plus or minus and it'll scroll quite a bit quicker. So now we'll use the right arrow to go over to the AM and PM, and we can use the plus to go into 24-hour mode, back to AM, or to PM, 24-hour. We're going to select AM. Now, the next feature creates some confusion. The number 6 along the bottom is flashing. It's showing that today is day 6. There's no set days within the controller for these numbers. This is the source of some confusion sometimes. If you select that day 1 from here on out is going to be Sunday, then that means day 6 would be Friday. So you need to decide what your day 1 is going to be. The common solution is day 1 being Sunday. That's fine. Today is Wednesday, so Wednesday would be day 4 if Sunday is day 1. So we'll use the plus button or the minus to go forward or backwards and select day 4. So now that we're on day 4, we have 9 a.m. Day 4 is Wednesday, which is today, and this section of the programming is complete. Once the current date and time is complete, we'll use the center button to change to the next chapter. Now we're on start times, and what we'll see on the screen is the time 12:35 a.m. is flashing. Remember, we can use the right arrow and left arrow to navigate around the screen. I hit the right arrow and the bottom number 1 is flashing. This is a 4-station controller, so I can use the plus to go to station 2, the plus to station 3, and the plus to station 4, and use the plus to go back to station 1. The bottom of the 2 numbers is the station or valve number. Now we're going to use the left arrow to navigate around to the start time or cycle start number. That's highlighted by the little alarm clock flashing with the number. Keep in mind, every station has up to 9 potential cycle starts. I'm still on station 1 there on the bottom, and I'm scrolling through his 9 potential cycle starts. We're here at start time number 1 for valve number 1, who is the bottom number. And I'll use the right arrow to make the time flash. And he's currently set at 12:35 a.m. I'll use the plus or minus to adjust that in 5-minute increments. And we'll put him at 12:15 a.m. So that's valve number 1, cycle start number 1. Left or right arrow moves the cursor around the page. If I want to have a second cycle start for valve number 1, this one's set already at 1:10 a.m. Every station needs its own cycle start time. So I'll use the left arrow and drop down to the station number, and I'll use the plus button to advance to station 2. And this is cycle start 2 for station 2. We'll use the minus button, go back to cycle start 1 for station 2, and he's starting at 4:15 in the morning. We'll leave him how he is. Quickly review the rest of his cycle starts and make sure they're all in the off position if you only want station 2 to start once. So we see that he only has one cycle start at 4:15 a.m. Then we can hit the left arrow to go to the station number, use the plus to advance to station 3 of the 4 zones. We'll use our arrow again to go up to his start time, and here you would use the plus to input a start time 1 for station 3. Or with the arrows, you can scroll around and use the plus to go to valve number 4. Then use your arrows to move the cursor, and you can select your time accordingly. So that's the start time section of the controller. Remember, every station or every valve has to have his own start time. Now we'll go and hit the center button and go to the runtime section.